Here we are. Says we're live. Let's see if we're live.
Let's see. Our weekly check.
We have somebody on Rumble, so we are definitely
Awesome.
live there.
Okay.
And hello, everybody. Just going to verify that we're good everywhere. And if you can hear us and see us, if you don't mind giving us just a little heads up that it's working.
YouTube seems to be working.
Excellent.
Yep, there we go.
Good day to be inside today. I don't know about everybody else, but lots of rain here.
How's everyone doing this week? We've had a pretty normal week.
Yeah, normal week this week.
No big losses or gains, really?
No, even keel. I'm good with that. So I'm going to wait a second before I start babbling too much, because I noticed that I don't know if both platforms are doing it, but I noticed that YouTube had stuck in some ads to get things rocking so they can get their money.
Mine's working.
Awesome.
So I'm going to take this chance to say hi, kids, because they pointed out last week that I didn't say hi. So.
Yes, hello to our 4 children that are hanging out at Grandma's. I don't know if they're watching or not, but they probably are.
Some probably.
And as you can see, one of them had a birthday yesterday.
Yeah, we don't do a whole lot around here, but we do decorate.
Yeah.
Makes them feel special when they come down the stairs in the morning.
Yep. So now I'll be bumping my head off of balloons and things hanging from the ceiling for the next week. Next Sunday, you'll still see the stuff hanging from the ceiling.
You won't.
Oh, not so sure. Not so sure. I think it'll be likely there, but we'll see.
We'll clear this area anyway.
Yeah. Okay. I don't see any. To make sure I'm not missing any conversations here, because there's always a bit of a delay on the studio. So we are supposedly on 3 platforms today. I don't know if that's the case or not, but we very well could be. And just in case you're not familiar, I'm going to put our names on the bottom. At least I think I am. It seems to be...
we are 5, I believe, days away from spring.
Beautiful.
Yes, it's a rainy day today, very overcast, windy, but not bad. It's not ice, it's not snow, and I know you guys in the States have been having it a lot worse. So if you are affected by all the storms going through, let us know.
Yes.
I've just caught a little bit of headlines here and there, but it sounds like it's all across the country.
Musgrave Family Farm, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't remember where you guys are, but hopefully you're not being affected by the string of storms that we're going through. Wild Huckleberry, welcome. Glad to see you again. There we go. You're at the park. The grandkids, okay.
Well, I hope you have good weather then.
You must be having some, knowing you're probably having 90-degree weather by now, so that's good. I'm glad you're joining us anyway.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm trying to get my banners to work, and I'm having some trouble today for some reason, so maybe they will, maybe they won't. But we are part of Homestead Sunday, guys, so that's not working either. So as long as you guys can see us, that's the main thing. We're having trouble with some of the features here on the studio. I'm not sure, but it looks like you're still with us, and that's the main thing. We are, because I had a banner made up to tell everybody that we're part of Homestead Sunday, so I will just go through that real quick since I can't get it to work. So basically, we're kicking it off here at, I guess it's 3 p.m. Central Time, 4 p.m. our time, and followed in an hour after we finish. If you want to stick around and watch some more lives tonight, we have at 6 p.m. Eastern Time or 5 p.m. Central. I'm going to say it that way because it makes more sense in my mind, being that I'm in that time zone. So 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Money Pit Homestead, and then an hour later, if Robbie's back from the park, we will have the Wild Huckleberry starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. And then, Dyer family at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central. Followed by Red Dirt Rooster Road. Have I got these times right? I think so. Followed by Red Dirt Dirt Rooster Road. Wow, that is a tongue twister for me, and I have no idea why. But they were right behind Dyer Family Farms, guys. So if I can get my banners to work, I'll put it on the screen for you so it can make more sense than the way I said it. But I have a feeling that we're gonna have trouble with that. And the other reason I know we're having troubles with the studio is I can see we're bouncing. The participants are bouncing on and off our what we have for people on the system right now. We are also supposedly, whether it's happening or not, we're also supposedly on YouTube today. So I'm curious to see if that actually works.
Facebook?
Oh, sorry, Facebook. We are on YouTube.
We are definitely on YouTube.
We know we're on YouTube. We're talking to you guys. So we are trying to run on 3 platforms today. So I'm very curious to see if that works. All right, so catching up with the chat here. Very happy to. Oh, you know what? I can't even click on the chats, which that's really kind of frustrating. Anyway, guys, so
Musgrave Family Farm, a lot of wildfires. Where are you located again?
Wildfires. Wow. Thanks, Robbie.
I'm sure the wind is not helpful with that. Yeah, very windy today here as well. Yesterday as well.
Yeah, it's been very windy. I've had to pick up. We put all our rain barrels out, and I've had to pick a couple of them up because instead of getting full of water, which they should be in this weather, a couple of them have actually filled up. But instead of all filling up, there's been a couple that just kind of take off before they get a chance. So I've had to barricade them a bit until they get some weight in them. But I guess
so excited.
Can't complain. We're getting free water again, so that's great. And we have a few things going on this week, but I don't want to jump out and talk about everything right off the bat because we tend to do that, and I like to give everybody a chance to get here. And you're in Oklahoma, okay? So you guys have had some rough weather there, I believe. But,
yeah, rough start to spring.
Yeah, early for the storms, I guess. But hopefully everybody's been safe and well, we wish everybody to stay safe.
Mm-hmm. Sure. So?
Yeah, I'm just reading the chat before it shows up on the chat. Sorry. All right. You want to talk about your stuff, or?
I have plants coming up. Yay. My peppers finally started sprouting and a few tomatoes as well, which hasn't been very long. I forget what day I planted those. But they're starting to sprout. Signs of spring. I'm so excited. This week I plan to mentally plan out the garden so I know what I want to start, and then start the extra seedlings like eggplant and okra.
I'm just reading Robbie's comment. Crazy me, I was fishing during the storms. I'm really sorry I can't share the comments, guys. I should be able to click on them and pop them up on the screen, but for some reason it's restricting me here. So
did you catch anything?
Yeah, did it work?
I found that fishing in the rain is
supposed to be the best time. So frustrating that that's not working for me, but I guess I should just be thankful that we're still streaming.
Yeah.
I haven't kicked any cords and the power hasn't gone out, so
far so good.
So far, can't complain. And if we are missing any comments on any other platforms, we do apologize because I don't know if Facebook, if you happen to comment, I don't know if it'll show up on here.
Yeah, so far it's just showing us viewers on Rumble and YouTube, so.
Yeah. So, okay. My turn. So if you guys have been watching our videos, we are getting goose eggs, and I think I talked about this last week a little bit. We do look to have 2 hens, and I'm very thankful. That means I can get rid of one of the males because there's 3 males out there, and one in particular has been very difficult. Doesn't matter what time of year. He's always very aggressive, so I think he's going to be our first either to go to freezer camp or get sold off, depending on if we have room in the freezer at the time, and because we do need to get those emptied. slowly.
Yes.
Some of them.
That's also part of my plan for spring.
We have multiple freezers, but they tend to stay full, which is a good problem to have. But assuming that we actually get our roasting birds this year, we're going to need the space. And I say assuming only because there's been another outbreak on the other side of us. So now we're in between two areas where they will not ship birds to you anymore, at least where we live, guys. So with hi John, thank you for joining us. With that whole avian flu thing, they're restricting the people that are allowed to have the birds. If there's an outbreak in the area, they won't let you. Even if you order them, they just cancel your order and you don't get them. So right now, we have 30 days left till ours show up.
It's a long time,
and it feels like a very long time now. So it's because that area to the east of us that was off limits, that's only, well, to give you an idea, it's only one country, less than one country block concession, or however you want to look at it. One side road away from us, this area starts east, north, and east of us. And now, about 20 minutes west of us, there's another big section that has been affected by this outbreak. So as long as it doesn't cover our area before the next 30 days, then we can still get our birds. But, it kind of leaves you worried because, 30 days from now, it's pretty late in the year to make a backup plan. It's not like you want to start hatching for your freezer camp at that point in time. You can, but when you're talking about heritage breeds, obviously you need more time than just a couple months in the summer.
So my plan is to empty out the freezers to make space for the birds, and because a lot of what's in there is actually like frozen fruit and frozen tomatoes, if I get to making jam and ketchup and all that stuff, it should work.
Yeah, that's best case scenario.
Yeah, that's what we set our minds on is best case scenario.
Yeah. All right, so just reading through the chat here.
No, it doesn't work.
I still can't get it to come up. I keep hoping maybe it'll start working, but what do you want for free anyway?
So you caught fish,
so
Robbie?
Robbie's caught some fish while he was out fishing in the storm.
And what kind did you catch?
Yeah, what would was it something you could take home or a goose? Well, I was getting concerned. I didn't want him grabbing anything that might make me think twice. So it was getting kind of close. But yeah,
I think
it was like
ninja
moves.
When he gets picked on because he makes fun of me being afraid of the geese.
Cindy won't even go near them now because now they're at that point. They're laying eggs. We've stopped taking their eggs, by the way. That was pretty much the next day. I went out to get that was the last time I went out, and I got a huge egg. It's probably not even going to be fertile or hatch because it's got to be a double yolker. The thing's massive. Took out my whole hand, and I don't have small hands. But that would have been a day to get the camera out because they were fed up with me. It was to that point where they're like, go away. So
a tournament.
Yeah. So I've decided to let them hatch their own because they'll probably have better luck than us anyway. The only reason I initially started taking them was we were still getting some extremely cold nights. So anything out there during the night was freezing and breaking. So I didn't want to chance that. It just seemed like a waste. So we ended up putting, I think, 11 goose eggs in an incubator. And they've already laid at least 3, if not 4. I can't remember if it was this morning. I checked her yesterday morning, but there was 3 eggs in a nest. But what I see they've done is they've gone to, they're both laying in the same nest because there was 2 eggs showed up there the one day. So they've done that before. I'm still hoping that one of them will go off and into the other calf shelter and start another nest. I assume maybe they will, but so if everything goes well, we should have some goose meat this year, assuming that everything's fertile and good.
Yeah, it's worth a try.
Bass tournament sounds fantastic.
Sounds fun.
I would love to get out into an area that there's actually something worth catching. Around here, it's like there's, I don't know, what rivers are nearby are so I don't want to say polluted, but they get a lot of that runoff from the fields, so everything's murky and it's hard to see. You don't get that nice clear water that you get in more of a rockier setting, I guess you would say, or areas like that where water is fast flowing and things. So, I know my brother-in-law's been after me to go out fishing. Might get there eventually. I get my license all the time as if I'm going to go out. The same as hunting license, I keep that as if I'm going to go out, and it seems like I never do.
I got him out fishing a couple times last year, but it was like pulling teeth.
Yeah, well, there's always something to do. You guys know that. There's always something to do, and it just feels like if you're out for hours doing something else, you almost feel guilty, I guess. I don't know. But speaking of incubators, I've got 7 on the go. I've got one that has quail, another that has the goose eggs, another one that's got silky eggs, another one with Polish eggs, and I think that's it. One more with silky, so there's a couple of them with silkies. They've been selling pretty good for us. The Polish had just got laying.
Yeah, so now we have two Polish hens, and they're both laying.
Yeah, so now we're grabbing those eggs. Hopefully we'll get some of those to hatch, and we'll be able to make a few extra dollars there as well, because we've been selling the chicks for around $10, which is nothing like as if I was at the auction with Jack. I know when he goes to the auction there for Dyer Family Farms, it seems like it makes you want to smuggle birds over, because wow, they get crazy prices. It was soaked. He got pretty wet, eh? He had a rain suit on. But it was probably a good time. It was probably nice getting out.
Yeah, as long as it was warm enough. Being out in the rain and the cold's not so much fun, but if it's warm enough, I think it'd be worth it.
As long as you can enjoy yourself.
So we are also getting duck eggs now.
Yep.
We have 4 or 5 maybe?
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 this week. So nothing outrageous yet, considering we have 4 or 5 hens out there, maybe 6.
But it was like months long.
Yeah, they were on strike for a long time. Everything's kind of coming fast now. Even the chicken production, the eggs are just now this past week or so, they probably doubled what they were giving us. So we're up between
getting over a flat a day.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Definitely a big improvement. Where I want to say today and yesterday was 34 eggs, and today was 30. But I know there'll be more when I go out. Not a lot, but there will be a few.
Mm-hmm. So that's a huge improvement over 7 a day.
Yeah, they actually start paying for some of their own feed now.
Yeah. What is not laying yet is the pheasants. So
I keep watching.
Curious to see.
But yeah, so far she hasn't laid any eggs. I haven't actually been in the right place at the right time anyway to see any breeding going on between any of the males and the female pheasant. So like I said last time, I think in the last video I talked about, I've seen the male pheasant on the silky hen of all the weird things, but I haven't seen anything going on with the pheasant hen. So hopefully there's stuff going on and we're just not seeing it, and the things are fertile. Same with those goose eggs I got in the incubator. I'm crossing my fingers that they'll be fertile. But time will tell. I guess next weekend I'll candle them and I'll have a better idea.
We didn't have luck last time with goose eggs, but
it was difficult for us. We ended up 2 hatched last year when we tried to hatch our own. 2 hatched. They weren't our eggs, but we bought eggs.
Yeah, and you said the instructions are really difficult, misting them so many times a day. If you want to
get into really detailed hatching, it talks about how many times a day to mist them and this and that. But I want it, my idea of incubating is the incubator does the work. I don't want to have to go in there multiple times a day. So hopefully it works out.
Yeah. We shall try for sure.
Oh, we're getting to the end of our list pretty quick.
We are.
I'm talking too fast. But it's almost garden time. The snow is gone.
We need to get dirt for the raised beds.
That's going to be the next big chore. I want to wait. I can go and where I went last year, and I can get pretty sure it won't even right now. I can go and buy soil, but it's clay. We have clay, and I almost would like to have more of a mix in there. So I'm thinking I might wait a bit longer until the area um, landscaping companies, they have what they call it, like a three mix or something like that, which is basically a mix of dirt, it could be clay, it could be whatever, mixed with manure, or mixed with
or even something just more sandy.
Yeah, something that we can mix in with our own soil to loosen it up. And I know John had put a video out recently too, talking about the same sort of thing, where he's got the clay in his raised beds, and it just gets packed, right? So, and we have the same issue here. So I want to we the manure will eventually break it down, but it would be nice to speed that up with some other soil to mix in.
Yeah, I want to take the I don't know, the turner, is it a weeder or something, and just mix everything together in there.
It's a manual soil tiller, I think it's called, and it just you got
3-prong or 4-prong
handle, and it comes, the rod goes down, and at the bottom it kind of goes into 3 or 4 prongs that you would put in the dirt and twist, kind of break up, mix the soil. So hopefully that'll work in there. We just got to watch for those cross pieces that support the walls of the raised bed, so they don't get in there and get pushing and end up being stuck on one of those.
Okay, I'm not that strong.
Yeah. So Robbie, you were ready to get out fishing? Yeah, it's a sure sign that the weather's improving, right? It wasn't that long ago around these parts that people were ice fishing. I still remember it seemed like only a few weeks back I was watching people out playing hockey on a pond on my way to work. So it's quite a change. Now we had the one day, the last few days, it actually got up close to 20 degrees Celsius, which I want to say is like 68 Fahrenheit, somewhere in there.
I swear we need a chart.
Yeah, we need a chart beside us.
We need to print it out, laminated chart.
Yeah, just something to reference, because of course, for us, we talk Celsius, but when we're broadcasting on YouTube and Rumble, we have an understanding that a lot of people are watching from the U.S., so you kind of like to have the ability to.
It was warm. It was nice.
It was warm.
Let's just call it that.
Yeah, almost
comfortable.
Comfortable jacket. You can almost do without a jacket, but definitely.
I've gone out a couple times in a t-shirt, and I was out for a couple minutes before I was like, yeah, a little chilly.
So hopefully you guys aren't having any issues watching us today. I can't help but wonder when I watch the numbers of people on is going 0 to the current number, and back and forth is jumping back and forth, like there's almost like it has a disconnect, and I hope that's not the case. So, and so frustrating when things don't want to work. Anywho, going on, let's talk about me. Everybody likes to talk about themselves right now.
Let's talk about him.
Let's talk about me. Isn't that a song?
I want to talk about me.
Yeah, I want to talk about me. So, when I started doing the lives, or when we actually started getting heavy into the lives,
nice pun.
Unintended. It was the same time I actually started on a low carb keto diet as well. So I thought I'd just put that out there as part of our conversation today, because I've been pleased with how it's going. And I think I started the year in January 1st. I started at 308 pounds, and I'm fortunate that I carry weight well, but it's still a lot of weight to carry. So, but this week I managed to get down. So we're this is March, so just over 2.5 months in, and I'm down 33 pounds. So 275 is where I'm at now.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, I get to watch everybody else eat things I don't get to eat. It's fantastic. No, it doesn't feel that strict. I won't lie to you. You know what? When you are in living the lifestyle that we and most of you guys live, it's not hard to eat properly, right? When you want to eat real foods like your eggs and your cheese and your meats and certain vegetables that aren't super high in sugar, I'm actually shocked how well your body responds to it. And I, I also, besides the fact that it's a low carb, that I'm eating a low carb slash slightly keto diet, I'm also fasting from, I don't eat before noon and I don't eat after, say, 5 or 6 p.m. So it's like 18 hours that I don't eat, but I don't get hungry, which is, I'm going to say, is because I'm eating real food and not the stuff that you buy that's processed and full of all the crap that really isn't doing you any good. So, but thanks, guys. I appreciate that. But yeah, I hope to keep going. I'd like to get, ideally, because even though I carry it well, I mean, it's really somebody I'm 6 feet tall. So something my height should probably be down closer to 200. So even if I get down to 220, 230, I think it'll be a good weight for me because structurally, I have a big frame. So I think at that point I would probably start looking a little gaunt or whatever. I'm not sure how you want to word it, but yeah, but hopefully it keeps going.
Mm-hmm. You're doing really well.
And Karen Richardson, by the way, guys, that's one of my aunts. Hello, Aunt Karen. Great to see you on here. Thank you. And
you've been working very hard at it.
Yeah, and the part I like the most is I'm not working out. All I'm doing is my normal routine, the stuff I do around home, and I have a job that is not very physical, guys. I half the time I'm at a desk, if not more. So the fact that it's actually working the way it is I think is great. So I encourage anybody that's thinking about it to give it a shot because definitely healthier for you.
Yeah, and you did say from the beginning that you could do breakfast for any meal, so it's kind of
I love breakfast.
Diet.
I could have bacon and eggs all day long, but and because your body processes it differently. Supposedly, if you do your research on it, supposedly you don't get the cholesterol and all that goes with it. So, and that was the other thing. My blood pressure's come way down. It's pretty much almost normal. I checked today.
It was below normal.
Yeah, below normal. Actually, my bottom number is like it was close between 60 and 70 when I 67 or 70, something like that. Anyway, but my top number most of the time now is 120, 117, 120, somewhere in there, which come down quite a bit because I was up pushing, I think, 150 over 90. So it was getting to the point where I just didn't want to get into medications. Basically, I don't take any, and I kind of want to leave it that way. So that's there. I talked about me, but hey, that was my spew for the day. I thought that would
a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, I thought I'd put that out there. So hopefully by the time my next birthday comes, I can be down maybe another 10 pounds or so.
Yeah, and I still made him a keto cupcake.
Yeah, even though our one boy had a birthday yesterday, Cindy made up some cupcakes for the birthday, and I had my own.
Raining.
You
can hear it on the window.
Good day to be sitting at the computer on live, chatting with you guys. So.
All right, Bert, we are halfway in, and our list is done.
Wow, this happens every time.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. I talk the first half, you get the second half.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to enjoy my coffee.
Yeah.
My black coffee. Actually, I use with MCT oil in my coffee. If anybody's curious. It's just a concentrated coconut oil.
Yeah, it's a white powder. So like a creamer.
Very, very much. It actually seems very much like a creamer. But I've gotten now, I don't mind even just black. It just tea or coffee, especially the herbal teas. The stuff we grow here, the mint teas, I could drink that all day long with nothing in it. That stuff's good for you.
Yeah, the tea is good. I can't have coffee black. I gave up the sugar in my coffee unless
Cindy's doing very well
unless
too.
I buy it somewhere else.
She's a lot more resistant as far as going as.
I'm not going on any one diet.
Well, this is another benefit. I hold up my hand. I see that you guys. I have a ring on here that I have my wedding band I always wear, but I have this ring that Cindy had bought me with this chain. I want to say probably at least 5-6 years ago, maybe longer.
Longer.
I've never been able to wear the ring, so that's another positive. So
For sure.
but, so what else we got? You guys already know the turkeys are coming, so I still have to get started. I need to clean out where our billy goat was, to move his house now that things are thawing out, and dig out some of that hay and bedding that he had and spread it out in the garden. Probably put it over where the strawberries will be coming through.
And we need to get a whole bunch of brooders set up.
Yeah, I need to set up a few more just to
for all the many types of birds that are coming.
Yeah, I want to kind of get replace some of the quail we have. We keep. I always lose track. There's got to be.
There's 5 rows, 3 compartments in each row.
So 5, 3, 15 times 5, so 70. We keep at typically around 75 birds. Right now, I think we must have about 80 quail, and right now they're all.
Up too.
I'm sorry.
Their laying has picked up as well.
Oh yeah, big time. I started leaving a light on in the crabbery. You guys remember what the crabbery is? It's our quail and rabbit barn. So I started leaving the light on in there, and they really picked up. They ramped up incredibly, probably 40, 50 eggs a day. And but we don't have any right now to harvest for meat. And we've talked about before how much the kids like them. We want to kind of keep them eating some decent food as well. So I need to hatch some, and then what I'll do is I'll replace some of the hens that are aging, and of course harvest the roosters anyway. And hopefully, like I said, we'll still get those pheasants. But anyway, I want to clean out that area where the goat was. I got off track. And I want to put up another aviary, which I think I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a roof up, basically a lean, and then bottom half I'll put more of a solid plywood or something, and paint it up, and then screen the top half. And that's where the turkeys will go, assuming that they show up in 30 days. I'm crossing my fingers. I just don't. I don't have a good feeling about it because I don't trust that. I don't want to say I don't trust the government, but I don't trust the government. So I think if something happens close by, they're going to put us in that gray zone, and then all of a sudden we're going to be punished with everybody else, and we get told we can't buy any birds. So
yeah, it would be really miserable for the hatchery and for us.
Yeah, it would.
I mean, the hatchery has these sales made, and then if the customers can't take them, then what?
That's the thing. Like, you can buy, you guys all know, you can find somebody you can buy laying hens from if you don't want to go through a hatchery. But it's tough to find. I don't even know if you can actually find meat chickens, because a lot of times they're not hatched and whatnot, right? Not by your local farmer anyway. There's a lot of them don't, especially the Cornish cross type thing. They get too heavy, they don't multiply, so to speak.
We don't get to that age. Own, but we only have a breast rooster and small roosters like the silkies and the
worst case scenario, we could do that. It's just easier to get a bunch of chicks in.
Yeah, I want to try the Cornish cross this year. Really do.
Yeah, something the kids will like to eat more. We still want to get a pressure canner. That's the other thing. We haven't got one yet. Keep watching for a used one in the stores, or there's. I told you guys before, we have the farm store chain that's going out of business and closing up. PV Mart. Well, we popped in a few of their stores, and of course, that's one of those things they don't have left still on clearance. So, but eventually we'll get our hands on one. Yeah, they normally would. Well, you know what? I don't think I've ever seen them here in the farm stores. You always had to buy them through the hatcheries. Now, they actually had them right in stock, John, or is that something that they would order in for you? Because we can order them in here through like the farm stores, but they don't have them just sitting there. Would be nice. You just pick them up and go. Looks like we're not missing any comments. I really wish we were able to
Now, is it
highlight them, but
that the Cornish cross can't get old enough to breed?
yeah, a lot of times
'Cause
I
I
think
was
they get too heavy.
I was thinking if there's a Cornish cross rooster, could you breed it with a different type of hen that was old enough? But it might not get old enough itself.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of these guys on here, you guys might know the answer, but my own knowledge, I thought they basically got too heavy and just became a.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of ways to get our own bigger chickens.
Yeah, well, and the fact that they're actually a cross, right? That's the other part. They're not a breed themselves. And here they don't actually call them Cornish cross. I can't remember what they called them, but they were basically the same bird. Oh wow! Oh yeah, that's right. Here they called them White Rock cross. Of course, every area's got their own name for it. So they had about a dozen. Hey, John, did you grab them? I guess not if you weren't sure how many. You probably do the same thing we do, though. You probably normally just harvest from your heritage breeds, eh?
Yeah, no matter what, we'll have chickens to harvest. But
yeah, just whether or not they end up being more of a soup bird as opposed to feeding the family at the time. But, yeah, looks like we're not missing anything. That's good.
Our rain barrels are filling.
Yeah, you can just
you probably
hear the
can't
rain.
Hear
you
it,
can't
but
likely hear it, but we can hear the rain hitting the windows. That's what I was thinking as we were just about getting ready to go for the live. I remember looking over at the sky and thinking, it's coming in again. And I thought, watch, this time we'll lose power or something.
Yeah, it's always something.
It would.
But hopefully not losing power because we do have all those incubators going.
Yeah. I'd have to kick the generator on after a while. It'd be really nice. I always thought it'd be cool. I don't want to spend the money though, but I always thought it'd be cool to get one of those generators that kick on for your home when the hydro goes out. But the idea of spending that kind of money on one just kind of doesn't sit well with me. So you get yours from the hatchery, eh, John? Yeah, I think most people do. So that makes sense. But this will be, like I said, this will be our first year trying to do it. So we'll have the gamut covered for poultry meat if things go the way we're hoping. Between the chickens and the ducks and the geese and the turkeys and the pheasants and the quail, we'll have it covered. Just missing the emu and ostrich or something like that. But
we need a peacock walking around, just
no,
looking all pretty.
We don't need a peacock.
No, I'm joking. I don't really like birds that much.
No. Yeah. So hopefully, still be nice to find there's some sort of source of meat.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
aside from the rabbit, we also, of course, have the rabbit. But
yeah, and we do pick up things in the store when we find a good deal.
Yeah, we did that today. We went in and bought a whole pile of pork. Loin?
Pork half loin.
Half loins, and we just cut them up into roasts and chops and whatever else.
Yeah, and add some variety to the weekly meals.
Basically, for a nice big loin for $16 or something like that. Definitely cheap to go in and do it that way.
So we'll have, like you said, roasts and the eggs and fried pork.
Yeah, it's really nice with the eggs picking up now because we try to sell a lot of them, but the quail we're never able to sell as many as we get, so we end up either freeze drying a bunch or we use them all the time for our everyday needs. But
people are hesitant to
get the quail eggs. The market I find, and we haven't tried tapping into it yet, is there seems to be a bigger demand for dog treats that are quail eggs, just in case you guys are ever thinking about getting into something like that. But we've got people that have stopped and bought them specifically for that purpose. But I've also seen advertising where they sell them frozen. Yeah, just like a bag of them frozen as dog treats. And I thought it's an interesting thing to do. I suppose as they're starting, if you're not selling them, as they're kind of getting, a week old or 2 weeks old, maybe they just throw them in a freezer or something and get rid of them that way. But it's probably an easier way to market them, really, because it's such a quick, healthy treat for a pup.
Yeah, it's definitely worth looking around, seeing what the different markets are.
Exactly.
And I've seen people, selling like quail feet and chicken feet freeze-dried as treats for animals.
I do that when we harvest chickens. I'll keep a few feet behind. I'll let the dogs have them, and they just love that stuff, right? But
I was just thinking freeze-dried. It's interesting.
It is interesting, but maybe not a bad idea.
Yeah.
If you're into that, soup.
Put your freeze-dryer to work.
Chicken foot and soup.
No, it was marketed for dogs.
Oh, well, people eat them too, right?
It may be, yeah.
I think so. I don't think I've ever had one, but I've had pork hocks, pig's feet.
I'll stick with the main part of the.
That's good too.
Millions of little businesses.
Yeah, this is a good thing, though.
Yes.
More ways you can come up with to save a few bucks and to make a few bucks.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to. I did with tomatoes and peppers, but I'm going to try to plant a few extras of everything I plant, and just sell off what I won't use. And what doesn't sell, I guess I'll find a spot to plant it and maybe sell off the extra produce that comes from it.
Oh, that would be definitely a bonus too, right? So, did you talk about everything that you've got popping up?
Just peppers, hot peppers, bell peppers, banana, and different varieties of tomatoes just starting.
Yeah. A little cold still, I think, for the greenhouse. The cold frame. I've thought about running some heat out there, but it would just be just such a waste of hydro. What I should really do, and I keep thinking about doing it, and I haven't done it, is I almost should run the quavetry or the rabbit barn, whatever you want to call it, so close to the greenhouse. There's only maybe 6 feet, maybe a bit more between that building and the greenhouse. And I've often thought I should run a piece of ductwork from the one building to the other, because the barn, the rabbits and the quail are in that little barn. I've got it vented, right? I have a fan kicks on to keep the ammonia out of the building. And today I went out there, even with the fan running, and it's not that warm outside, but even with the fan running, it was almost 20 degrees in this little building. So it's very toasty. But sometimes I think to myself, instead of venting it out away from the building, out the back of the building, I almost should have it. So I switch it around and vent it out into a ductwork into this greenhouse and just move that air into there, just to introduce some free heat. But I don't know if it would work the way that I think it would, or if it would just be if it would be enough to notice, I guess, because the cold frame obviously doesn't keep a lot of heat. So I don't know how long it would take if that air would escape too fast to notice the difference or not. So, but
yeah, it'll be nice when it's warm enough to get the seedlings out there, because I do not like how much space it takes in the windowsills.
Yeah, it's just easier too. If they're out there, it's much easier to harden them, get them outside, instead of having to take them in and out of the house, up and down the stairs, and all that kind of stuff. With the in the greenhouse, you can just walk them out the door and set them on the ground.
So excited!
And then they're in my way when I go to cut grass.
I can just picture it.
So can I. I just did.
No, I'm excited to get things growing, especially in the raised beds this year, and to have most of the ground around the raised beds for walking. Like, if it grows grass, then great.
Yeah.
Just less mud.
That'd be the plan this year. I was actually thinking it'd be nice if that was already like that, because I was out walking around there this morning and heading out to the one coop where the chickens are. We have to go in through part of the garden to get to it, and everything is just you sink in this mud. And I thought, well, at least if this was all grass, it would be a little more compacted and hold together. You'd still sink, of course, and you still have big puddles, but it'd be a little easier. You're not going to have a little more surface underneath you, I guess. But in time, it won't take long. That stuff grows pretty quick. It'll be all weeds for a while, but
Yeah, it'll be weeds. We won't be reseeding it, I don't think.
I don't know. It won't be worthwhile. It'll eventually.
It'll grow clover and all that stuff.
And clover's good.
Mm-hmm.
Clover's good. And half the time, as you guys probably know too, half the time the weeds will grow. If you catch it and you see what it is early enough, you might decide you don't want to cut it down because it might. We've got what is it?
Mullen.
We have mullen that we planted in a small raised bed a couple of years, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's one that we see is coming up in our backyard. There's one that's coming up in our laneway. And we intentionally leave them now because we know what they are. It's not like...
Yeah, and as the ones in the raised beds die off, which they might soon, we have replacements.
Yeah. And we've replanted our Jerusalem artichoke. We had dug a bunch up, and they started to go bad on us for the winter, so we went out and we threw them all back in the ground, and we're going to, I guess, basically reseeded because...
it's going to be crazy next year.
Next year, I think what I have to
This year.
do is harvest from the ground as we want. I think they'll... I know they keep better in the ground. I want to try freeze drying some too, just to see if it'll work. We'll experiment with a few different things, and
I did try dehydrating them in the dehydrator, but they turned out like really hard as rocks.
yeah,
I thought they'd be more like chips, but
I was hoping.
hard.
I did try frying some,
Yeah.
slicing them up and frying them in a frying pan. Same thing with seasoning. It actually works not too bad, but to get them as brown as I would like, they get a little crispy, I guess.
But I do wonder if you take the freeze-dried or dehydrated ones and you soak them to reconstitute them somewhat, then fry them up, maybe that'd work.
Yeah, maybe. It'd be worth a shot. I hate to see something go to waste like that. But it's not the kind of thing you can eat a ton of all at once because, well, unless your gut is really
Like steel.
trained for it, because it can be a bit of quite a probiotic for you. So at least I think that's kind of the idea. So the chat's kind of quiet. I don't know if that we've lost anybody or if we're just talking so much and everybody's mesmerized by...
That must be it.
My butt's getting sore sitting here. Need a comfier chair. It's only about 12 minutes left, guys. And I'm going to, just before we get too close to the end, I'm going to try to do this again since I can't get my banner to work. But if you are interested, Donald and Lisa at Money Pit Homestead will be on in an hour. So it'll be 6 o'clock our time or 5 o'clock Central. And an hour after that is the Wild Huckleberry with Robbie and Sonia. And that'll be at 6 p.m. their time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 7 o'clock our time. Am I getting this right?
So.
Okay, 7 o'clock our time, 6 p.m. Central. And then followed by Dyer Family Farm at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. No, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time. Followed by Red Dirt, Rooster Road. Oh, I got through it. At 8 o'clock Central. Just in case you would like to spend your night watching YouTube and a whole bunch of people homestead.
And why not?
And that's a good idea. And especially if you're getting the rain we are getting. Now, we're going to be on the road for part of that, but we'll be dropping in to see everybody the best we can.
Yeah. We're always on the road after hours.
Yeah, it's go quickly, grab the kids and have dinner, and then we get back and get the bedtime routine and everything else that you guys all know what that's like. I'm very curious to see if this works on YouTube today. I didn't spend as much time trying to set it all
Facebook.
up. Sorry, Facebook. Wow. One thing about lives is you can't fix when you screw something up, like I keep doing. So I didn't spend a lot of time on the Facebook trying to get that set up today. So it looks as though it's connected, but I actually don't think it did. So I didn't go in and pre-plan it, because last week went to so much effort, and then everything did not work. So I'm debating about whether or not this is a free program, so I can't complain. But sometimes I wonder if I should go back and look at the restream again and see if it's worth checking out. I just don't want to spend any money, as bad as that sounds. But I mean, if you're
StreamYard was okay too.
the StreamYard was okay, but you couldn't do multiple platforms because they want you to pay. Where
how dare they?
Right? How dare they want money for their stuff? But if I can find something like this, which seems to usually work okay,
then
I would prefer to keep doing that. But the restream worked, but it was just that we had trouble the one time we used it with buffering. But now I'm not so sure that it wasn't just using the laptop and the Wi-Fi. It wasn't just a combination of issues with that. Instead, maybe it might work better on this particular setup.
I still don't love the name, but
it sounds funny, right?
It
Restream.
Sounds like
it doesn't sound like a live.
Been streamed and it's being restreamed.
Yeah, but I guess they must. I'm sure they looked at that when they chose their name. They must not have thought it'd be an issue.
Yeah, pet peeve.
Yeah. So guys, give us a thumbs up if you haven't. I haven't paid attention to see what's happened as far as that goes, but if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up so we can hopefully get it for a few more views on here. It's harder as the weekends get nicer because I don't think people want to be stuck sitting on their couch or computer when the weather's as nice as it has been.
And
I mean, Robbie's been used to it for weeks now.
If anyone has
oh, you don't see anything on there? Okay. Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you.
I might have to actually put the effort in next time. I thought it was going to crash on me again, I guess, after having that last experience.
Yeah, at least this is working. So
yeah, it's definitely working to Rumble and YouTube. I think it was Rumble that was the problem last time. It wasn't so much YouTube, but anyway.
Right, Rumble wasn't working and Rumble had to work.
Yeah, because we're using their studio.
Yeah.
So
I was going to ask if anybody's already direct seeded anything into their garden, because I need to see when I can do that here. Because there's a few things I really want to get out there.
Yeah.
Because most things I will direct seed if I can.
I can't remember if Robbie, did you plant stuff already? I feel like you may have. You were tilling your garden not long ago. I just don't know if it warmed up enough at night for you to plant yet. I know, John, you're kind of in the same boat we are as far as still getting the cooler temperatures.
Yeah. I keep looking to see when the tulips are going to come out as a sign, and the daffodils, but nothing yet.
I just can't wait for the asparagus.
We don't get that much in our own garden.
We don't get a lot, but my mother-in-law and brother-in-law get a bunch. And they get sick of it pretty quick, and I don't know, I like it. I just like it, what do you call it? Sauteed, just in a frying pan with it just long enough to, so it doesn't get mushy with butter and salt. Making myself hungry. Not yet, eh, John? No.
I'm just impatient.
Yeah, Cindy's last year was a month earlier than normal.
So I feel like I'm behind.
For us, it's always May. We call it May 24, so because it's a holiday here. But we're on the third weekend of May. Is usually when it's safe to plant.
Right. And so it was a month and a half from now. I was putting everything into the garden.
Yeah, but you were planting in April last year. You were a month early.
End of April, everything was going into the garden.
Yeah, but the weather was just so different.
I'll catch your video. Thank you.
Okay.
Medicinal garden. That's cool. I want to have a medicinal garden. I kind of tried with an herb garden, but I'm really not sure what to plant, so I will check that out.
Yeah. Next week. We have a few things, but not in one area. Kind of spread around. And I could tell the snowbanks were high this year because I'm not set up to show you the picture right now, but I was out walking around the garden, and we have kind of like a food forest in our garden, a bunch of apple trees and pear trees and plum and many other things. And I'm walking along, and the snow was so high that halfway up this apple tree, I see all this bark ate and all these branches are ate back. And it had to have been rabbits because the deer don't come in our yard because of the fences. I mean, it's not that they can't, but with the dog and stuff like that in the yard, they just don't. And so the only thing I can think of is the rabbits chewed the crap out of this apple tree.
Mm-hmm. We did see a lot of rabbit tracks.
Yeah, we did. But this got to be 2.5 feet up this tree that all this eating took place, and these branches are all chewed back, and it's like, wow. Because the first foot, probably 12 to 16 inches, I've got big O around to protect the tree, but they definitely got at it.
Well, I'm glad you got in safely. Hopefully everyone had fun at the park.
Yeah, but the grandkids probably enjoyed it. You probably had to hang on to them though if it's that windy.
They love when it's windy. Kids love being in the wind.
That's fun.
Don't you remember opening up your jacket and see if it'll take you away?
I still do it. Yeah. No, it's yeah. So I wonder. I'm really curious what the storms are going to be like this year. They were bad enough last year.
Yeah, the wind took down 2 of our apple trees that were already producing.
Yeah, we lost Sweet 16 and I can't remember what it was, a spy apple or something. I can't remember, but 2 of the trees got snapped right off the ground. And
yeah, and we haven't ordered any trees for this year.
No, didn't bother this year. I have a bunch of seeds I want to start for peach and maybe some more apricot, but you're ready to get out of the wind. I don't blame you. I'm just hoping we don't get the heavy rains like we did the last 2 years. We've been here about 11 years. Never had an issue with flooding. We used to get runoff from the fields, but then they put in a great big drain that goes right around our property with a catch basin, and that took care of it. And we were like, problem solved. And then 2 years ago, we get this torrential, they call it like a once in 100-year flood.
And then it happened again.
And then last year, summer, the same thing happened. So it's like, okay, well, this isn't just a once in, because this is obviously a big change, right? This is 2 years in a row where we've got flooded out. Our house was like an island.
Yeah.
Makes it hard, especially when you get birds and tractors in the yard and stuff like that. Cindy's had to scramble and
wade through the yard to rescue chickens and tractors.
Because otherwise they drown each other, right? Trying to stand on each other. So, and it's almost the end, guys. Sometimes it goes so fast because Cindy talks so much.
I know, I'm such a chatterbox.
Chatter. And we have more people on now. It's almost the end. We got more people on now than we've had through the whole thing. So it always feels horrible leaving when people are joining in. But last few minutes, if you guys got anything you want to ask or anything going on you want to tell us about, love to hear about it. Mm-hmm. The coffee's almost gone too.
Mine too. And what's left is cold.
Yeah, it's getting there. Yeah. And whoever's watching on Rumble, we really do appreciate it. Haven't seen any comments, so if you have commented and it just hasn't shown up, we do apologize. But it's nice when you can see people on multiple platforms.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, we don't have as big of a presence on Rumble as we do on YouTube. Not that we have a big presence. Don't get me wrong, but
we exist.
But Rumble is slowly growing for us. Still much smaller than YouTube, but the audience is slowly growing for us there as well. We don't pursue a lot of the other platforms so much. We just kind of dabble in
the other ones.
The others
probably better for like advertising the YouTube and the Rumble.
Some people focus more on others, right? Like there's some channels that focus more on Instagram and things like that, less on YouTube. I guess it depends how much energy you have to chase all the different platforms and try to make it work.
I don't even know how to use some of them. I don't at all.
Well, we get the kids to show us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first day. just to talk about that for a second, Robbie just mentioned, I know you guys might not be able to see it, but Robbie just mentioned about the feeder that I put together in the last video I did. And so I built 2 of them using the parts that come from Amazon there, where you just put them on the pails. In the first couple of days, I did not notice any more feed usage. Now, all of a sudden, Duncan Family Farm, how are you doing?
Thanks for joining us
Thank
on your
you very
travels.
much for joining us. Now, all of a sudden, I'm starting to see a lot more feed being ate. I'm not going to worry about it right now because the same time we're getting a lot more eggs. So I get that their bodies are ramping up and they're having to work harder. So I'm gonna leave it for a bit and see and make sure they're not just getting fat.
And you notice that more on the front coop.
I notice it more with the younger birds. The coop at the front. Both coops have about the same amount of birds. I want to say around 40 birds. But the one at the front also has the ducks, and I don't know if maybe they're eating more. I'm curious to see what happens. The other coop, not so much. They're eating pretty much the way they ate before, or as much as they ate before. But I want to see. I want to see if there's a correlation between the feed intake and the amount of eggs we get, because typically, we've always measured it out in the containers and feed them twice a day, based on how many birds and what it says they should probably eat, which may or may not be accurate. I guess it was just what we were doing. So I'm curious to see if we get more productivity out of the birds, or if it'll eventually just slow them down. Because I think I've read too, if your hens get too fat, they actually do become less productive, or the eggs get too big, and that's not a good thing either. Sometimes, I mean, it's great for your customers, and we already get with barred rock, we always get big eggs anyway. So
yeah,
we don't need to have bigger eggs unless we're going to start having multi-tier selling
that sounds
sizes or something. But
we don't size our eggs.
No, that's just too much work. But anyway, guys, I know that a few of you we're going to have to go outside now and start. Just probably not as early as you used to, right? I know with us, we don't do things as early now that it's staying light longer. But I'm sure there's a few things you got to do outside. So we're not going to hold you up any longer. We appreciate everybody dropping in again and listening to us babble, especially me, talk about myself and stuff.
We do appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, we really do appreciate it. Everybody that takes the time out of their day to join us. We hope you have a blessed week and everybody stays safe and the weather cooperates with everybody. It's kind of scary when you look at what's happened already this year for storms.
So stay safe, guys, and thank you so much. See you next week, hopefully.
Thanks again, guys. See you next Sunday. Well, we'll see a few of you over the next few hours, but We'll see you next Sunday. Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
And the stream has failed. Wow, things are really messing up here. We're still here, guys.
No. Oh.
Let's try it again.
Oh, you might be stuck with us.
You're stuck with us. Look at that. It doesn't want us to leave.
That's weird.
All right, well, I don't know. See you later, John. We're going to have to manually shut this down, guys. So thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.
Bye.